A huge card on Slate today.
15-game card. It's us versus the bookies. Bases loaded, high noon. It's going to be a showdown.
On a suddenly not so casual Friday, the buy hat is engaged. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to MLB Bases Loaded on this Monday. It is May the 4th, 2026, the first Monday of May. Data abundant May baseball. We're fired up to be here. We see you guys in the chat, brand new chat, 16,000 plus people. We see Razor, Ixnizzle in the chat, a bunch of stuff. We got 12 games on the card today. Mike, successful weekend. As I said, we got a lot of data. How you feeling this morning, brother?
Ready to fire. High noon showdown incoming. It's going to be a great week of baseball. And Shark, happy Star Wars Day, my friend. May the 4th be with you.
Oh, wow. I didn't know. I know it's a bank holiday in England. I saw some soccer this afternoon. I didn't know May the 4th. Mike, some great word usage on this Monday. But
listen, you got to prep top to bottom and head to toe. You can't just come in here like you just woke up out of bed, right? You got to be ready to go, man.
Yeah, I know. I know the backdoor commentary on that. But if you guys are in the chat, we see you guys in the chat. Jump into the chat, drop comments, and we will engage you along the way here. As I said, 12 games. A lot of divisional games on the card tonight, too, as well. 7 divisional games. A bunch of teams that have not played this year that will play 13 times. We love that. We get significant data, and it is an opportunity to dominate. Let's talk the card. Let's get down to business. It is a suddenly not so casual Monday, and let's go into the card. First game on the card, 5:40. Real funky time here. Coors Field, Rockies Mets opening up a series. This game was supposed to be a night game. It is actually being played at 3:40 in the afternoon Mountain Time. Mike and I were just saying before the show, you talk about a game that really kind of reminds you of the COVID season. There's going to be basically nobody in this stadium this afternoon. This is not a holiday. This is not July 4th or Memorial Day. This is Monday afternoon, a work day in Denver. And this is really kind of a bum matchup at this point with both these teams significantly under 500. Mike, I don't know if we're betting the over-under capacity in this stadium today. I would venture to say less than 3,000 people. In terms of the actual game, do you have anything in this one?
Yeah, we're going to kick it right off, fellas. We're going to go right to it with the yes run in the first inning here. This has got to be an opportunity. We've got, elements. We've got shit pitching. We've got early start, kind of sleepy little position out there, and it's priced around a minus 140. So we'll start the old rollover. Actually, we're on leg 2 of the rollover, I believe. So we'll keep her moving in the right direction with a yes run first inning. I don't have much on this. I mean, look, the Rockies, they like playing with Sagano. The runs come after this guy here, 3-1 on the record with a 2.84 ERA. The problem I have, and a lot of guys got burned with this past weekend here. It's like, I'm going to keep betting the Rockies. Well, listen, the Rockies aren't priced like plus 6,000 favorites here. So betting the Rockies and hitting 1 out of 5, you're getting crushed. You're getting your ass busted. So you're taking the most profitable team in baseball and you're finding a way to turn it into a loss. Right now, they're sitting at plus 120. It's not enough money for me to want to get involved in the Colorado Rockies, but you certainly won't see me strategize and say, I'm coming in here to bet these guys consistently. You got to find the spot. You got to do the capping. You can't just roll out of bed and push the button. You got to look into it a little bit more. And I don't think, despite Sagano catching these wins, that there's enough firepower behind this Rockies team to want to get inside. Plus 120 is not going to cut the bill here, despite the Mets. Look, Brazoban, starter as he is, 1.15 ERA. Well, how long is he going to go? I don't know, but I'm just going to take a yes run in the first inning. Expect this ball to get out of the park early and often.
Yeah, speaking of rolling out of bed, if you guys went out on Sunday night in Denver, you could roll out of bed here at 11 a.m. and roll over to the stadium and be the only person in the place this afternoon. Cheers up, fears down. Coors Light on deck. This game, honestly, I have no idea, if I'm being honest. This is really just an anecdotal, abstract environment. We're not going to see any of these Monday rescheduled games in Coors really all summer, and this is just a one-off. Speaking of Sugano, you could make a comment on this guy pitching reasonably well. Campaign 1 with the Rockies, obviously Baltimore last year. We said it last week. 36 years old, coming over from Japan or Korea, one of the two. If you're that old and they sign you in MLB, clearly you're doing something right. He is 1-0 at home this year against a National League East opponent. Did actually beat the Phillies 4-1. Fairly dominant performance, actually. 6 innings pitched, only 1 earned run. Only 78 pitches, very economical. Not entirely sure why he was pulled, if I'm being honest, at 78 pitches. I think he could probably do better than that. But the Mets are a buy team at this point, in my opinion. I've trashed them every day on the air here. I won't say that their lineup impresses me any more than it did last week, but they are performing better. Managerial change might come. The tabloids are certainly not a fan of now what they're calling Mendoza off. Speaking of sleepwalking into shows, Mendoza sleepwalking into the dugout in the clubhouse every day. But Mets game 4 of a long trip at Western opponents. Just had 3 in Los Angeles, 5-1 win yesterday with Clay Holmes on the bump. Now 3 in Colorado, followed by 3 against Arizona later this week. Moral of the story is we open up, we talk every game. We don't love this game, but a little fun. Afternoon baseball. Take the Yerfie and let's cash. Next game on the card, we're going more relevant baseball, better stuff here. 6:40 p.m. Nighttime ball in Detroit, Monday, May the 4th. Tarek Skubal on the bump against Peyton Toll. Skubal did beat the Red Sox earlier this year on the road as a smaller favorite, now a heavy favorite. Mike, this is really inflated. Any access in this game?
Yeah, I'm just looking at something real quick here. Bear with me. All right. So this is going to be leg that, by the way, just so we get the housekeeping in order, that is leg 3. This becomes leg 3 of that rollover. We cashed the Phillies on Thursday night. We cashed the Toronto Blue Jays on Friday. So we're trying to turn this one into $44. We'll see what happens there. But look, I'm going to go with the first 5 and I'm going to take the under. I know I've been doing this consistently with this Detroit Tiger side of things here, and it's been biting me in the ass, but it's a really low number. Okay. So Toll, despite, his early start, and he's been, he kind of had a little, he has to, what's the word I'm looking for? Shrug off his last start. I don't want to be in the Boston Red Sox business here, but what I've seen with these Red Sox is, their bats have been somewhat cold, somewhat complacent, I guess is maybe the best term here. They got 1 run in that last game against Houston the other day. They put 3 up on the board before that, 3 before that, a 1, a 0. They're not firing. So now we got Skubal on the bump. And I think 2 things happen. 1, probably Detroit goes out there and puts the belt to ass on these guys. Boston doesn't have a lot to go for right now. Boston Bruins are out of this thing. The Boston Celtics are out of this thing. It's kind of a sleepy little spot. It's a Monday on top of everything else. But right now I'm looking at it saying you're going to get Toll's best effort because he's playing against an ace. And not to say that that's not the case every single occasion. And why would this game be any different? I just think in case of a Detroit Tigers team, not necessarily striking the ball, but putting runs on the board, I think it's a really good opportunity to say, you know what, let's go with this. Let's go with this under 3.5, probably a nerfy on top of that. I actually looked at this and like the K prop for Toll as well. Over 4.5 strikeouts, 11 strikeouts in his debut against the Yankees. Massive. He put 4 walks on the board. He kind of struggled through 68 pitches his last go out there. So I think it's a bounce back. And I think because of his struggles and his sluggish performance, knowing he's going out there against Skubal and a monster, I think the under 3.5, and I like the Toll over 4.5 strikeouts.
Yeah, for me, Toll is hard to figure out. Obviously very young. I gave a nice little breakdown of this guy's makeup last game before he proceeded to get beat on the road at Toronto. And I said, I like his makeup. I mean, first of all, he's 6'6", 250. I mean, he's got the body of Rob Gronkowski here, and he's a dog from Oklahoma, 23 years old with a hell of a mustache. I mean, the guy's straight out of a movie. And as I mentioned, he probably could play professional football with that body. Like when you see him on the mound, honestly, I feel like he should be smoking a cigarette. Like he is just an absolute prototype out there. He looks the part more than almost any other pitcher I've ever seen, if I'm being honest. That being said, the part was not great in Toronto. A lot of walks, as you said. This is just classic young pitcher. They labor. They don't locate. Maybe their sequencing is not that sharp. And I think this year you're going to see this guy. This is his first full campaign as a starter for the Red Sox, kind of in and out of the lineup last year. I think he's going to be a home pitcher. I think you're going to see dominant performances like you saw against the Yankees at Fenway Park. I think he could struggle on the road. That doesn't mean he's not going to get 5 strikeouts, however. Mike, I wouldn't disagree. The line is heavy for Skubal for a reason. I think Toll will labor to a degree, get a lot of strikeouts, a lot of walks, not go deep into the game. Probably won't make it past the 4th or 5th inning. But, Mike, I do see a cluster of strikeouts as well. Tough game, inflated line. I would not look to the Red Sox as a sexy underdog in this game. I think Skubal will lay down the law, go 7 innings, and get the dub here. If you want to lay it, lay it. We don't love laying huge numbers, and the run line is obviously a totally different figure. So Official play, over total Ks, and we will move on to the next game. Next game on the card, 6:40 in Miami. More divisional stuff here. First divisional game of the card of 7. This is a series closer. Game 4 of this series started Friday, will end tonight. Series zigzag appears to be a conversation here. Philly game 1, Marlins bounce back game 2. Philly yesterday blowout against Kris Bubic. Mike, what's going on tonight?
Yeah, who's surprised about the old Paddock blow-up situation out there? Color me not surprised in that case, but divisional road game number 4 seems to be the spot out there. Teams played their last 3 away. Team they're playing, divisional opponent, played their last 3 at home. Game number 4, the road team favored to win are 13-2. Now, this is a coin flip. Here's my thought process on coin flips, because we've used this term quite a bit. There's games that are going to be winners. There's games that are going to be losers. If we can find the edge in those coin flips, that's going to be the difference between a subpar gambling season and a terrific one out there. Monday divisional favorite series finales are 8-1. The line opened up in this case as the Phillies a big favorite. I get it. Everyone's kind of looking at Nola saying, well, on the road, he's not so strong. And this is junk spot and junk's going to bring the goods. And I'm not buying it, man. Listen, he's got 21 strikeouts to 33 innings pitched. That's not the formula I want to get involved with here. So I'm going to take a shot with this Philadelphia Phillies. I know it's probably the not so popular play of the day here, but I think there's a lot more than just the starting pitcher. Junk ain't going 9 innings. And that being said here, look, the Phillies kind of woke up with their new hitting changes, their new coaching strategies out there. They are 4-1 in their last 5. So let's not just automatically take Junk because he's the best guy the Miami Marlins have. I would even argue that too. So give me some Aaron Nola action here. I think he can go out there and get the job done for us.
Well, Mike, you're my guy. I love doing the show. I don't think he can get the job done for you. The buy hat is engaged.
I should have asked before I went into it.
And no, the data is great. I mean, you said 13-2, closing the series in this spot. But I'll tell you the other data point. Philadelphia 0-4 final game of a series on the road this year. So we got clashing data points here. And I do think Aaron Nola is a fade in this spot. He really is at this point just a terrible road pitcher. I don't think there's a buy low. He's the oldest player on the Phillies roster. I was watching the clubhouse after they won a playoff series last year, the year before. And I actually was not aware of the fact he was the oldest player on the team. He pointed that out. He said, I've been around here for over a decade. He's an older pitcher. He's just not that good. And this year, he is 0-3 on the road as an underdog at San Francisco, Chicago, and Atlanta. 0-1 in the division. At Atlanta, got rocked. This is also his 3rd consecutive road start. You know, we try to unpack this stuff in baseball versus other sports, and we say, is the schedule spot really that bad? I do think 3 consecutive road starts is really difficult for a starting pitcher, particularly looking terrible in the previous 2. I don't see a bounce back. I see more of a crater down. And Nola last year actually missed 3 months in the middle of the season. May 14th, came back August 17th. Throughout the duration of last year and into last start at Atlanta, he's actually been sustainably abysmal road inside of the division. 18 2/3 innings pitched, 21 earned runs, 27 hits, 6 walks, 6 home runs against in his last 4 road divisional starts. And that includes the last time he pitched in Miami, 4 2/3, 9 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 home runs against. I think the Marlins are going to be all over this guy. Multiple home runs early. Final point on this. Jansen Junk, I looked up his name when he was pitching on the West Coast last week. I wanted to say, what the hell is this name? It's actually German. It's Junk. Jansen Junk. So we can actually respect this guy a little bit now. He's not, his parents just didn't name him Jansen Junk. Like, piece of trash here. But that all being said, last year he did pitch at Philly against Walker Buehler in September. 4 2/3 innings pitched, 1 earned run, only 61 pitches in the first 5 innings. Very economical. I think he'll be in total control here. Absolute final point on this. As I mentioned, Philadelphia 0-4 final game of a series on the road. Miami is actually 5-2 at home off a previous loss. Great spot. You guys like the Phillies? I don't know if there's Philly fans in the house. Hot city. It is. I don't think so tonight in Miami. Mike, any closing thoughts?
No.
Okay.
I got you. I wasn't sure where you're going with the Jansen Junk situation there, but I learned something new today. So for that, I'm appreciative of it. We'll see what happens. I don't like to go against the buy hat, but I just, I got my inkling and suspicion. But let's move over to the other side of the state of Florida.
Yeah, well, you did open your take by saying it's a bit of a coin flip. So we'll see what happens. All right.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, look at these coin flip situations are like, it's you and I had this conversation about the New York Mets and the worst of first situation, and they broke the schedule into thirds, and they said a third of the games we can't win, a third of the games we'll win automatically. Let's focus it on that middle hump, and I guess we'll just see which edge prevails here. But I can't wish you the best of luck because I'm involved on the Phillies side of things here today. But listen, it's going to be a lot of fun to see that game and how it plays out, and it's an early start, 6:40.
Absolutely. Let's keep it moving. Next game on the card, divisional baseball tonight in Tampa Bay. Rays versus the Blue Jays. First game of the season of 13. Interesting stuff here. Nick Martinez on the bump against Eric Lauer. Two journeymen, two older pitchers, both north of 30. Mike, any thoughts on this one?
Boy, this is a tricky spot here. First glance, I was looking at the Tampa Bay Rays, and I thought, you know what? In my hierarchy of where I place the AL East right now, it's Yankees, it's Tampa, it's probably Toronto and Baltimore tied, and then Boston in the bottom for my power rankings here. But can I just use that as an automatic go-to in this case? I don't think so. I kind of like what I see with these Toronto bats and slugging their way through this Minnesota series. Like, that's kind of a little trappy letdown spot, playing in the middle of the country. It's cold, it's chilly, and you're asking the bats to come to life. So, I see Lauer. I see the innings pitched. I see 29. I don't like his K ratio here, but Martinez, well, he eats up a lot of innings. Probably, what do we know here? We know lower scoring games in Tampa. For whatever reason, they're the pitching whisperers. And I like the price tag. I mean, plus 113 right now. You got 69% of the bets and 82% of the cash on the Tampa Bay Rays. Lines come down 3 cents. I'll take my shots with Toronto.
I agree. This first time I have two buy hats, and we got one disagreement. We have one agreement. I love this hat. This is actually a nice 1993 World Series championship winning Blue Jays buy hat. Is engaged. And, the Blue Jays fans who watch this show are going to love that. Obviously, the Blue Jays really probably could have won the World Series last year. So we're getting the good vibes going with this hat. And I think you're going to find good vibes in Tampa Bay tonight. Mike, I totally agree. I have written down here, Tampa Bay are the pitcher whisperers. Their coaching staff makes these guys look like Hall of Famers. I think it stops tonight. I think Tampa Bay is way too hot. They're actually the hottest team in the sport right now. 9-1 last 10. And they have won 7 consecutive home games. Key point, games outside of the division. They just swept the San Francisco Giants, who can't win anything. And prior to that, they beat the Twins. I'm unimpressed. I like buying Toronto here. Not only that, I think you got to sell Martinez here. This reminds me of what we said about Seth Lugo going back about a week and a half. Seth Lugo and Nick Martinez are both mid-30s journeymen who actually became starters with their current team after being relievers with a previous team. And both have been absolutely elite this season. Lugo was way too hot, and he got rocked about a week ago for 7 earned runs. I think that's what you're going to see tonight with Martinez. Martinez only has given up 7 earned runs in 37 innings pitched. I thought we were reserving that conversation for Jose Soriano. When I was capping this before, I said, Nick Martinez, what is going on, dude? But I think he's way too hot. I think he gets hit here tonight. And, not coincidentally for this handicap, we haven't mentioned spring training data on this show yet, because I think it actually doesn't usually apply. I'm not entirely sure how much it applies here, but I found this to be very interesting. In his final spring training start, Martinez actually faced the Blue Jays, and he gave up 11 earned runs on 12 hits in 3 2/3 innings pitched. Like, I understand it's spring training, but that was only a month and a half ago. You don't think this guy remembers that? You don't think the Toronto bats are ready to light this guy up again? I think they'll be all over him tonight. And final point on this, Lauer took a small loss last year at Tampa Bay to Drew Rasmussen. Rasmussen was favored minus 138. This moves down. Tampa Bay's way too hot. The Blue Jays are too cold. It's a great handicap. Buy hat is engaged. Take the Blue Jays. And let's cash. Next game on the card. Going to New York, uptown New York, Yankee Stadium, Bronx. Closing out the series here, Orioles at Yankees. The Orioles are trying not to get swept, and they have to face Cam Schlittler. Not exactly where you want to be on a Monday in New York. I think the Orioles would actually prefer just writing a nice little forfeit ticket, getting some beers across the street, and going home for the next series. Mike, I think another blowout's coming. Is there any shot the Orioles get this one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, there is.
Mike,
yes, there is.
Mike, is this just the contrarian special of the day or what?
Nope. It is about the fact that there's a little unique situation here. The Monday dog opponent's been winning, kicking ass and taking names. They find a way here. Monday, teams played their last 3 games on the road against a team that's played their last 3 games at home. The dog, as long as it's game number 4, over a 115 price tag, perfect 5-0. Now, this is one of those situations. Saltiness, my friend, saltiness, but that's a whole different story. We'll talk about it. Listen, uniqueness. We talked about the outliers. Sometimes these early games and when they start, sometimes these unique little opportunities where it's like, makes sense of this one. Why is this fucking series game 4 on a Monday? And that doesn't happen often. So it should be noted. And the fact that it doesn't happen often, it's happened 5 times in 19 years and it's gone 5-0 means I'll take a shot with this one here. Even, I kind of questioned when I initially looked at it here, like the money, the run line is even money, right? Do you want to take a shot with that? I think you could get away with that, but for me, it's the plus 186. Go big or stay home. And one last point I'll put on there, because I did want to comment on this too. As great as Schlittler's been rolling here, he's kind of been in that good bad situation, and he did have that bad start at Boston. So coming back home here, he did have a good start against Texas. Why not? I think this is a step up in class for him, and as crazy as that sounds. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't disagree with the angles and the numbers there, but I do think that I do think you have to look at the pitching matchup here. Shane Baz has terrible numbers against the Yankees. Last year, 2 starts, got absolutely rocked. 3 innings, 7 hits, 5 home runs against. Actually, on my birthday last year, I didn't realize it. I was too drunk and hungover, but the Yankees teed off on this guy for 5 home runs last year. Judge, Bellinger, Stanton, Caballero, and Rice. These guys are going to be ready to go tonight. And Cam Schlittler last year actually campaign 1. First start was in July. He caught the Orioles in back-to-back starts in September. 1 road and 1 home. Road, 7-1 win, 5 1/3, 3 hits, 1 run on a solo shot. Home game, 6-1 margin win on Saturday, September 27th. 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, 0 earned runs. Mike, I have not bet this myself yet. I haven't laid minus 200. But the polarization in the pitching efficiency here is pretty alarming, in my opinion. You think that Shane Baz is going to somehow just turn up and keep the Yankees bats at bay tonight?
I think we see runs. I thought we would, I thought yesterday had a shot to go under. I was way off of that thing because the Yankees bats are hot right now. It's not a fair, you can't just say I'm going to take the dog in every game of the series and hope for the best, but you got to find your spot. So I hope that at the very least here, this is the outlier where Schlittler can get touched and, we'll see. Big price tag.
No, I agree. I agree. I have not bet it myself yet, but I think certainly interesting. Schlittler kind of fits into the same conversation, not of Martinez and Lugo, journeyman pitchers finding ace quality in their 30s. He's more along the lines of Jose Soriano, just like really elite stuff, young pitcher. Will he sustain? I mean, I follow the Yankees. I'm a Yankee fan. I don't see him pitching poorly tonight, if I'm being honest. We will see. Mike likes plus 186. Mike, if you cash that, send me a bottle of wine. I'll need it for the Yankees.
Why would I send you a bottle? If you cash following my play, you send me a bottle of wine. That's the way this thing works.
I'm not tailing. So you bet $1,000, you make $1,860 in return. You spend $20, send it to me, you get the win, and you get a nice little gift. It's better to give gifts anyway. We know that receiving gifts sucks.
It's my birthday month. I want to receive, man. Let's go.
Anyway, keeping it moving here on this Monday. Next game on the card, 7:40. Wrigley Field opening up a series, Reds at Cubs divisional baseball. When I saw this, my eyes lit up because I have been enjoying fading the Reds all weekend. Clean sweep at Pittsburgh. Now they stay in the division, go to the hot version of the Cubs and Edward Cabrera on the bump. That's why the line is heavy. Mike, can you find a sexy dog in this one?
I wouldn't be laying $2 on Cabrera. But no, I really don't have any thoughts or opinions with this game here. I mean, just to throw it out there for the sake of throwing it out there is not necessarily the way we roll. So, it's 11.5. It's 219. You got an opener and this petty fella on the other side of things here. This is an ugly game, man. This is just a stay away spot.
Yeah, I'm still working on it. I think the over is the look. However, if you guys remember, Cabrera, only 1 start this year at home in an 11.5 range against Kodai Senga. Did go over 12-4. He's been an over pitcher at home, and this guy Chase Petty I was looking him up earlier. He's from Camden, New Jersey, interestingly enough, 6'1", 190, so undersized. Young pitcher, just turned 23. Nothing on record this year. Last year with Cincinnati, only one start. It looks like, or actually two starts, excuse me. Both were absolutely terrible. Divisional start last year against St. Louis, 2 1/3 innings pitched at home, 7 hits, 2 walks, 9 earned runs, 2 home runs against. Only road start last year, Sunday, May 11th at Houston, 3 innings, 6 hits, 6 walks, 4 earned runs, 1 home run. And as I mentioned, Cabrera has struggled at Wrigley coming over here, campaign 1 with the Marlins previously in his career. I think you're going to see a lot of runs here. I think this is just your classic Wrigley weather, wind, bad pitching situation. And I think the line is telling you the story. Best look in this game for me would be the over. Still working on it, but I think it's a sharp look. Take the over and let's cash. Next game on the card, divisional baseball tonight in Kansas City. Kansas City coming home of a pretty effective road trip. They're finally starting to play some reasonable ball. Michael Wacha, Tanner Bybee, matchup 2. These pitchers actually did face off against each other in Cleveland on April 6th. Mike knows that I love that type of stuff. It's not common to find the same pitchers facing off twice within a month. Good data here. Mike, any thoughts?
Yeah, I like this game to go on the lower side of things. You look at Wacha, you can certainly put up or let runs kind of slip by him here when he's got the upside down numbers, innings pitched against the strikeouts, but I like it. I'm looking at it more of an under affair here. I think Cleveland's the spot. I've talked about the struggling bats with Kansas City. I'm not the only one to recognize that here, but 53% of the bets, 51% of the cash, truly in that 50-50 spot. The AL Central loves their unders when they play against each other head to head on top of that. So I like this Cleveland thing. I think you sneak in here, you catch a sneaky little, I like the bullpen better for the Cleveland side of things too. So top to bottom, I'm more involved here. I think Bybee's got some, his opportunity to improve to me seems more likely than Michael Wacha. So I like the Guardians. I like the under in this game.
I agree with one and I disagree with the other. I think Cleveland could win. I think Cleveland could win this game. And I've been talking about this for the last month and a half. Tanner Bybee's actually lost 6 consecutive starts. At some point, that's going to come to an end. I actually tried to buy him in his previous start at home. He lost 1-0 to Nick Martinez, not coincidentally for today's conversation. I think he could get the win, but I do think it comes in a higher scoring game. And if you look at what happened between these two pitchers on April 6th, the game was very low scoring, 4-2. And it was really a pitcher's duel. Both pitchers were in control of the game. The line in the game was 7. So 4-2 on a 7, same pitchers a month later, and the line is 8.5. Why?
All right.
Why? This is not anecdotal. This is precise information. You have to look at Kansas City here and Cleveland and the pitchers. Kansas City's coming off a road trip where they were 5-1 versus the under. So they look like an under team in recent history, but in this same window, they're actually 7-0 to the over, last 7 at home. Extreme polarization, home overs, road unders. And Cleveland is coming off a game yesterday. They didn't back Parker Messick at all out in Sacramento. 1 run. Cleveland is actually 5-1 versus the over in series openers on the road. So it's kind of an all worlds collide spot for Kansas City home bats and Cleveland bounce back bats opening series on the road. And Wacha is also a home over pitcher, 4-0 versus the road under last 4, 1-0 last 1 home versus the over, extreme over on Wednesday, April 22nd, 8-6 against Baltimore. And just finalizing this conversation, this really started for me when I saw 4-2 under 7, and then I saw 8.5 getting steamed up. I said, what the hell is going on here? And then I went into those splits and saw the dynamic. So I really like the over in this one. I think Cleveland could win the game. Mike, any final thoughts or keep it moving?
Yeah, I think that, the big difference, I always look at it and say, can you depict why the line has changed? What's the variance? What's the variable? It's got to be the wind. I mean, this thing's got double digit kicking out. It's screaming that there's going to be runs. But the problem I have with that is who's going to put the runs on the board? Kansas City is not in the best of positions to generate offense. And Cleveland seems to do just enough to get by. So 11.5 miles an hour specifically at Kaufman, blowing out to the right. So the other side of things you want to pay attention to is the question about Salvador Perez, your big hitter in the lineup in the 4-hole. Probably because he sucks against Bibee. He's got 19 at-bats. He's never hit the guy. But if they take him out of the lineup, that's a huge piece, I think, that significantly weakens the foundation of that Kansas City side of things here. So now the more I look at it, I really like this Cleveland spot. That might make it a best bet for me.
Yeah, as I said, I do like buying low on Tanner Bibee off an 0-6 sample. This kid is going to start winning games. And Waka has been not great at home. But as I mentioned, that does lean towards more runs with Waka involved. So we will see. I like the over. Mike likes the under, but primarily, I think more forcefully, the Cleveland side of this game. Bunch of stuff in that game, and we'll move on. Next game on the card, more divisional baseball. FS1 national game here, actually. Brewers Cardinals opening up in St. Louis tonight. Cardinals small dog, should be more of a dog in my opinion. This team is right alongside Cincinnati in the NL Central, just kind of running a little too hot. Poor run differential, above 500. Brewers appear to be a bit of a bye team. Bit of a tough game for me here. Mike, any thoughts?
I'm normally one of those situations. You guys know it. I'm an under better, right? You see it all the time. It seems like I'm having to justify, and then they all go under. And it's like Shark and I were talking yesterday about all the unders in the league, and I was like, yeah, I feel like I got a fair share of those yesterday, but I'm going to go to the over in this one. Again, another situation where the Midwest seems to have that wind wailing outside here, and it's doing it again today in this ballpark. So the Brewers, Chad Patrick, he allows contact. He pitches the contact. So that puts guys on the base for the St. Louis Cardinals. Up until yesterday, the Cardinals as a dog were on like a 6-game heater. So that to me says that they can generate some offense as well. I'll take the over. I got an 8 in this one at a -125. So I felt like that's a pretty nice look here. Just all things considered, because I do like I look at the Cardinals and I would think, they're not really getting it done here, but I'm going to go with the opposite thoughts here and take the over.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with this one. I think you're going to get 9 runs in this game. I think it could be kind of tight, but I do think you go over. If you look at a little matchup data here, not a lot. This guy, Kyle Leahy, has not pitched against the Brewers, I believe, in his career, perhaps. Certainly not this year. Chad Patrick actually did face off against the Cardinals last fall, September the 20th. Actually, not last fall. That was late summer. Interesting. Getting my seasonal dates aligned in my mind here. September 20th. That's the second to last day of summer. So late summer last year, Chad Patrick at St. Louis, 3-2 win as a favorite, pretty heavy favorite, -143 against Miles Mikolas, of course, who does not play for the Cardinals anymore. Your line was 8.5, but it went under 3-2. So I like the line reset. You see an 8.5 hits 5, and they bring it back up to 8.5. And this guy, Kyle Leahy, big dog, 6'5 plus, heavyweight dude, throws a lot of heat, but not a lot of movement. I think you'll see runs in this game. I would align on this total. And as you said, you saw a lot of unders yesterday. I think symptomatic to a lot of good pitchers pitching and also just getaway days, the bats being a little flat on Sunday to close series. I don't have data in front of me on this, but I do think off of clustered Sunday unders in the getaway day, a lot of the bats do awaken to open series in a new week. So I think we're going to see a bunch of overs tonight. This would certainly be one of them. Take the over and let's cash. Next game on the card, 8:10 in Houston. Dodgers at Astros. Game 1 of this series, first matchup of the year between these opponents. Historically big-time spot. Maybe not so much at this point for the Astros, who are 7 games under 500, 14-21 through 35. Dodgers have looked a little lackluster in recent history. Got off the schneid yesterday, avoiding a sweep at St. Louis with Jacob Robleski on the bump. Now you get Yamamoto against a guy, I got to be honest, I'm not particularly familiar with, Steven Okert. Big card, big name, a lot of stuff going on here, Mike. Dodgers to clean them up, or what's going on here?
Man, how free was that Dodgers ticket yesterday? I bet you the books got their absolute asses handed to them, and I don't feel one bit bad about playing them Dodgers. What glorious money. I mean, 4-1, it wasn't like they went out there and kicked the shit out of them, but that's that situation I was telling you guys about. St. Louis in that dog roll, and they fired. And 7-2, 3-2. Finally taking that loss yesterday to the Los Angeles Dodgers. So how can you get involved with the Astros, though? I mean, offensively, I believe they're number 3 overall from a hitting perspective, but I don't know. I mean, I don't want to take Yamamoto because, frankly, I think that the book's out for this guy, and I would have to lean to the team total for the Los Angeles Dodgers here. Like, I wanted to bet the over in that Boston-Houston game. unfortunately, 3-1 was the final. Like, what a shit total that was, because neither bets were really connecting here. And so I don't trust it over enough with the Astros to push it. So I'll look to the team total for the LA Dodgers in this case here. 5.5 plus money, 4.5's got some juice on it. I think the 4.5 with a little juice might be a nice parlay piece.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't love betting the Dodgers, as you guys know, who have followed the show so far this year. It's just overpriced. I do think the Dodgers win. I don't see the Astros beating Yamamoto. Yamamoto is 1-0 on the road this year against the American League. 4-1 win at Toronto. Toronto clearly in a higher pay grade right now than Houston. This pitcher for the Astros, I just looked him up. He's going to be an opener. He's not going to go more than 1 1.3, 2 innings at most. You're just looking at the Dodgers. One point to fade Houston as well. Houston coming home off a long road trip, 4 games at the Orioles, 1 postponed and 3 at Boston. Did win in extras yesterday. So again, we don't really love fading travel in baseball like other sports, but long road trip, big win, extras, kind of a celebratory win against Ranger Suarez at Fenway Park yesterday. Now you come home, you get the Dodgers, who again have been lackluster for about a week. I think the win yesterday could uptick them and spur them forward to a clustered win and winning streak here. So I would not look towards the Astros here in any capacity. Don't love laying the run line, as we always know. It's a totally different market. Winning the game is totally different than covering -1.5. That's why the price is about dead even money at -1.5. Tough game. Look to the Dodgers in some capacity, and we will move on. Next game on the card, 9:38. 3 late games tonight. First one, White Sox Angels. I was saying this to Mike last night. This is probably the most underrated pitching matchup of the year, part 2. We said it last week, and here it is again. Davis Martin at Jose Soriano. This game is not for casuals. If you went around the country and you asked people in sports bars who these guys were, most people couldn't tell you who they were. But it's interesting because this is an elite level pitching matchup. You have 2 pitchers with a sub-2 ERA. Mike, I got to be honest with you. These type of games excite me because they're rare. Unknown pitchers, smaller market teams, obviously Chicago, not really, LA, not really, but second teams in the market of those cities. It's going to be a great game. What do you think?
I can't believe that I'm actually looking at, this Angels versus White Sox matchup here, and the better team is the White Sox. I don't care about Soriano being on the bump here. It comes down to the fact that I think from a winning percentage, from a hitting percentage, all of those factors to me lead to it. Now, I wouldn't want to necessarily fuck around. Maybe the first 5 is the play to go. I'm going to take the White Sox in some fashion in this game. I get the Soriano spot, but again, he's not the batter here. He's a pitcher, and this line's come down 22 cents with 58% of the bets coming in on the Angels. That ain't line movement you want to fuck with there. There's a reason, and it's too big a price tag for this Angels team that you look at their recent performance. And Soriano aside, let's talk about who's going to actually put the runs across the plate there to generate that offense. They put up 2 runs, 3 runs. They did have a win with 4 runs and then a single run out there. So when they get 1 or 2 runs, that's just not enough to get the job done here. And of any chance in this series, I think this pitching matchup gives them the most beneficial price tag here to take the White Sox. So I'm going to go with Davis Martin. Back to boys.
I agree. I was saying last show, I need to get a White Sox hat because we're becoming not only the White Sox buy hat team here, but the Whisperers. We know what's going on here. And, truthfully, at this point, it's crazy to say, but I think Soriano has seen his best days of this season. I think he's going to go down to slightly more mediocre, sustainable quotient here. Go through his starts. First 4 starts, 27 innings pitched, only 1 earned run, 9 hits, 9 walks. We've been talking about it. We backed him almost every game. If you guys recall last week, it was Thursday, or was it? No, it was not Thursday. It was whatever it was last week. I gave you guys the White Sox to beat Soriano, and I said he's going to take his first loss of the year. Last 3 starts, 15 2/3 innings pitched, 15 hits, 7 walks. So his whip is significantly inflated. And within this conversation, I think Davis Martin is the better pitcher. And I think Davis Martin is the better pitcher in this environment, too. This guy has pitched great on the road this year. He's actually been worse in the south side of Chicago. 2 road starts on Pacific time, 1 at this division at the Athletics on Friday night, April the 17th. 9-2 White Sox win against Aaron Savali. Athletics were laying pretty much the same number, -156. I gave you guys the White Sox in that game to beat Savali. And he did also beat Michael Soraka on Thursday, April 27th at Arizona, 4-1. Only one earned run in both of those games. Same thing there. Arizona, home favorite, minus 149. LA's in the exact same range. They're minus 150. The line's getting steamed down. And the White Sox are really performing just great in this spot. The White Sox swept the Angels in Chicago. I think it continues tonight. And final point on this, the White Sox are 5-1 in series openers on the road. So they come out hot. They're a young team. They have something to prove. And Mike, it's funny. We were talking about the White Sox being so awful for the last 7 to 8 years. You start to go through this lineup. They actually have blue chip players in almost every position. Young players, focused and ready to go. This is absolutely a White Sox spot. Total alignment here. Mike, we are aligned. See you laughing over there. You already cashing your ticket in your mind?
I was just laughing because I'm like, man, I just fucking blew up this White Sox spot here. I got the first 5 under 4.5. I got the White Sox first 5, and I took the White Sox full game. That's a little trifecta for me. White Sox smash here against Jose Siriano.
Completely agreed. White Sox all day, every day, 9:38 p.m. on this Monday. Take it and let's cash. Next game on the card, 9:40 in Seattle. Braves-Mariners, game 1 of this series. Interleague baseball, very interesting stuff here. Mariners coming off a really egregious home sweep over the weekend against the Royals. Just playing very poor ball. Really could have won a couple of the games, just nothing with the bats. I don't know if it gets any better here against rookie starter J.R. Ritchie. Mike, this is a tough game. What do you have here?
Looking at this one going, Seattle's got to be the spot, right? I think you can look at this Atlanta team and you can see offensively they're a juggernaut. And, as far as kind of that top 5, I always kind of hone in on those offenses and try to make sure that I want to get a play in here. But check these numbers out. 56% of the bets, okay, coin flippy, 95% of the cash are on the Atlanta Braves. It hasn't really moved. I mean, it's moving a little bit against Seattle, but I think that just means you're catching Seattle at a good number. See, the problem is fucking Kalshi. They've become the outlier book now because you see the numbers and you see the dramatic move there. And it's like, hey, look at this. You could DraftKings. If you want to bet the Atlanta Braves, you're plus 119. Kalshi's plus 133. I mean, shit. What is that? 14 cents a difference right there. Meanwhile, on the book side of things here, minus 143 for the Seattle side, minus 138 on the, Kalshi. They're just screwing it up when it looks at some of this line movement. But I like this. The other thing I look at is they sat down. Was it Raleigh that sat down last night? I think they sat down one of their key components there to kind of sneak them into that rest spot. Scheduled rest, not the NBA's load management, but just a scheduled rest day because they know they need the offense in this game here. So I think we do see a lower score. I think the other thing I like about this and fading Atlanta, one of my favorite spots in all of baseball here, leaving Coors Field with no rest. So you don't have the time to recalibrate and readjust. And now you're going up into Seattle and them boys are fired up with their best pitcher on the bump. So I like Seattle in this case. I think it's probably a really strong play.
I mean, I'm trying to get to Seattle myself. I think off of a sweep, and I had Seattle on Saturday night. Munoz comes in and blows yet another game. And I was talking to one of my guys from last year. Munoz just situationally blows so many games for the Mariners. It's frustrating to watch. And that was on Randy Johnson night. Hancock had 14 Ks. Like, the bullpen is just giving away games the Mariners should be winning. In terms of the actual dynamic here, tough read. This pitcher, J.R. Ritchie, he's only 22. Interesting little tidbit on this guy. He's actually from Seattle. Mike, you talk about weird things. This is his first career major league road start outside of the division, and it's at Seattle, which is a totally random matchup for the Atlanta Braves. And the kid grew up in Bainbridge, Washington, went to high school in the Seattle area. Like, how arbitrary and random is that? I mean, he's going to have family and friends in the stands. You guys turn this game on if you guys have a local broadcast on either side of this game or you subscribe to the MLB package. It's going to be a J.R. Ritchie crowd. I don't see him necessarily pitching great. He did look good at Washington. That's divisional, and it's Washington. It's not Seattle who's angry. And his only start against an American League opponent was a home start last Wednesday against Detroit. 5 hits, 4 walks in 5 1/3. Very inflated. I think he's going to be inflated. The total's kind of funky at 7.5. Honestly, I could see an over in this game. I think Gilbert could struggle here a little bit, and I think Ritchie will have runners on base early and often. Very tough game. I want to buy low on Seattle in some capacity. Tough game. Mike, are you officially on Seattle?
Yeah, I like Seattle. 143 is the tag. I didn't get the Kalshi number, but I'll take a 143 for my tracking purposes.
Sounds good to me. Take Seattle and let's cash. Final game of the card, divisional baseball. Game 1, Padres-Giants in San Francisco tonight. 9:45, 6:45 Pacific. Randy Vasquez on the bump road. Pitcher just listed recently, Trevor McDonald for the Giants. 6 foot, 205, 25 years old from Alabama. Tough game here. Vasquez obviously looking pretty good. Giants looking absolutely terrible. Just got swept at Tampa Bay, coming home, travel, cross country. Mike, the line's inflated, probably for good reason. What do you think?
Yeah, how about that comeback yesterday? I had Tampa and I had the under. I've been banging unders on this Tampa side of things like it's my fucking job. And 3 in a row against that San Francisco series was just the most free money. Here's why. Tampa Bay's the pitching whisperers, and San Francisco bats can't hit. And 3-0 shutout, 5-1 loss, 2-1 loss. Now you're going to travel all the way across the country. You're going to play a Padres. You had extra innings on top of that. Let's not forget that whole equation that fucked everything up for this San Francisco team out here. This has got to be a knockdown, drag-out Padres spot. Divisional favorites when they're playing against an opponent that lost in those extra innings, it is a gut punch. You are 103-47 in those positions out there. This is a Padres spot. I know some people are going to be down on Vasquez, but who the fuck is McDonald? McDonald had a farm. That's the only McDonald's with the McDoubles, the only McDonald I'm aware of here. So this guy's going to have to show it to me. I know you fade the Giants in game 1 of a series. While you're only 91-81 over the last 4 years, you have won 3 in a row. There is something to be said for it. And I think this is a great opportunity to catch these boys on the rip. Bad travel spot, underperforming bats. I think Vasquez can go out there and do enough to keep us in this game, and San Diego cleans it up in the end.
Yeah, no, this is a terrible spot for San Francisco, unquestionably. As you said, extra innings yesterday in Tampa. You're not really situated on Western time. It's an early time on your body time here. It's just a tough game. Or excuse me, it's a late time on your body time. Effectively, this will be after midnight on their body time coming from an East Coast trip. Yeah, so this is a brutal spot. I would lean towards the Padres as well. That's 47.
Thinking about a little Eric Clapton, after midnight. Don't let it all hang out.
Like that's two straight shows with a nice little sing song. The last one was Lionel Richie. Now we got some Clapton. Tomorrow we'll get a little Phil Collins or something on a Tuesday. We'll see. But anyway, 47 and change, and we got best bets.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I gave you guys the yes run in the first inning for that New York Mets game. I like this White Sox spot. I like this Baltimore spot. I'm going to take I'm going to go official with Toronto. I'm going to go official with that yes run in the first inning. I'm going to go official with the Seattle Mariners as well for a 3-pack. And then I gave you the total strikeout prop out there. I'm going to go with Davis Martin as well. I'm going to load it up today. Davis Martin to get over. Let's see what a strikeout prop is here. And go ahead, Shark. I'll find the price tag and then I'll recap it there after you're done.
Okay. Did you give the Phillies as a best bet or not?
No.
Okay. I had the hat on. We want to keep the buy hats as best bets. We're taking the Marlins best bet for me. Also the Blue Jays. That's a collaboration. Also the White Sox. Did you give that one?
No.
Okay, and the White Sox. Those are my 3.
Toronto, White Sox, and Miami. Well, you're going to have a nice 2-in-1 day.
We'll see.
All right, let's go with the parlay real quick. Let's go with the San Diego Padres for my leg.
All right. You want to throw the Mariners on there?
Sure. Actually, I got the Mariners as a best bet, but all right. Why don't we go San Diego, Seattle, and Toronto since we're collabing on it?
Okay. I was going to say we could throw the Dodgers in there too. I think they win.
All right. Instead of Toronto?
Yeah, just not to overlap too much.
All right.
Or actually, do you want to not overlap at all and throw the over in the Brewers Cardinals game in there?
Instead of Seattle?
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. I'm in.
Yeah, no overlaps.
We'll go over 8 in the St. Louis game. We'll go Dodgers. We'll go Padres. You've got Toronto, White Sox, Miami. I've got Toronto. I've got the yes run first inning. I've got the Seattle Mariners and Davis Martin over 5.5 strikeouts at +116 today against them Los Angeles Angels. There you go. Good show, man.
Absolutely. Sounds good. That's 12 games and about 50 minutes on the number. We try to make it 50. It's exactly 50 minutes right there. And we appreciate you guys on the new channel. If you guys haven't dropped a comment in the chat as we go, we understand, obviously, it's work day. Monday afternoon here on the East Coast, still the morning on the Pacific Coast. Always bet responsibly. As we always said, we want to be able to see the light of day tomorrow. Big card tomorrow. We got 15 games on a Tuesday. Some more series opening tomorrow. And that is that. We appreciate you guys. As always, please drop a like on the video as well on X and YouTube and comments as always. We will see you guys tomorrow. That is MLB Bases Loaded, Monday, May the 4th, 2026. For Mike, I am the Shark. Stay fast, stay strong, stay disciplined, and let's dominate.
I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine.